Hello, South Africa. I'm Nik Rabinowitz.
I'm Hezron Louw.
Welcome back today. Tyres and Braaiers, Volksies and Vorsies, Kombis and Carpaccio.
Nick, we're out in the countryside today. We're waiting for Brian Noik and his 1979 Kombi.
He's going to be driving us around Magaliesburg, ending up at a house, brew.
No, it's a brew house, Nick, where they brew beer.
Okay, brew.
Then we go on a game drive where we hope to see the Big Five.
We end off with an epic bushveld braai where we put a bush pig on the spit. Hezron, is there nothing for me to eat on the show?
I'm calling Rabbi Green, Nick.
What are you going to ask him?
Is the bush pig kosher?
It's not.
Rabbi.
My name's Brian Noik. I'm a classic car broker. I live in Johannesburg and I have mad car disease. This is a 1979 VW bay window Kombi with a custom paint job. The interior is a custom coffee sack interior with leather inserts. The engine is the original 1800cc air-cooled engine. Mechanically, the car is all original. The Kombis are very sought after, a cult vehicle. They're very popular in terms of the guys do road trips with them, tour with the Kombis, and enjoy them. You know, it's a great car. You can put 10 of your friends in and off you go and enjoy it.
That's lovely, eh, Nick? It's countryside, trees. And here, me and Nick were on the tracks.
What are we waiting for here?
We're waiting for a ride. It was a fantastic pickup. All you see is this Kombi coming down at you.
Oh, are you Brian?
That's me. Hop in.
Thank you.
Why are you into old cars, bro?
I've always been into old cars. I love them. They're part of me. So much about them. The history, the driving them. You know, it's almost an assault on your senses. The smells, the feel, the noise.
The Volksie bus, the darling of South Africa, but known by other names in other parts of the world. In Denmark, ryebrød, meaning rye bread. And in Nigeria, they called the Kombi the done for. Because if you got in one of these, you are done for. The hippie wagon, also known as the hippie van or the hippie wagon, and any hippie will tell you, if they once owned one, that they don't remember where they parked it, but that they loved it. Meeting Brian Noik was for me very interesting because I have quite a highly developed JDAR, Jewish radar. And I just had a feeling Brian was Jewish. Brian, are you Jewish?
Yes, I am Jewish.
Which leads me to suspect two things. I don't think this is your car for two reasons.
Why not?
One, because you're too short for it.
Yeah.
And secondly, because you're Jewish.
Yeah.
A Jew has no business owning a camper van.
What? No, Jews.
We don't camp.
We're not camping people.
No. Tell me something. Yeah. So whose car is this?
This is part of my stock. I'm a classic car dealer.
Yep.
Classic car broker, and this forms part of my stock that I'm selling.
He's passionate about cars. He's spent more than 20 years, because he's 40. He's 40. And he actually dropped out of school in Standard 8.
And you are educated as a?
I have a degree.
Accounting.
No, FS8 NSC.
What's that?
Failed Standard 8, now selling cars.
Brian is actually a lovely guy, and I feel like we harassed him a little bit up front. I was just very excited that there was a Jewish driver on the show. We haven't had one of those.
How many Jewish people can you fit in this car?
I would say it depends on the catering. If there's smoked salmon, then about 36.
They became two Jew brothers right there in the front seat. For once, I felt Nick slip away from me.
Anyway, we got here to Carlington Brewery, also known as the Brew House. And Rory, our beer master, feels like he's been working with beer for like 80, 90 years.
Not at all?
Not at all. No, don't drink it. I'll have a taste.
Morning, gentlemen.
Hello, Rory.
Welcome to the Brewhouse and Diner.
Thank you very much.
Great to have you here.
Look at this. This
Coolest
is
thing ever.
spectacular. For 50 years, beer has been monopolized in this country. They've narrowed the taste profile, so all we like are these blandish lagers.
The first one I'm going to let you taste is our Golden Goose Ale.
That looks like an ale.
That's an ale.
Would you call that an IPA, an Indian Pale Ale, or a normal ale?
That there would be an Indian Pale Ale.
It's good, honest beer. That's what it is here. There's a love and passion for it. You can feel it here. There's no pretentiousness. If you're interested in tasting something slightly outside of your spectrum. Brian, do you want a little, just a little taste?
Have a little taste.
Have a little l'chaim.
Have a little
Hey?
What does it taste like?
That's good. Yeah. Back beer.
It's a very lovely place. The beer here tastes fantastic. We tasted their ale first. It was a very good ale. It had just enough bubbles for me. And then we tried a lager. It's different. It's something fresh. Is freshness in beer important?
It's vital, it's everything. The minute you expose it to oxygen, it starts to deteriorate. And if I can, just, I mean, if you have a look at South Africa and what we do in 750ml quarts, the freshest beer you can buy, 10 out of 10 is a quart.
Really?
Is a quart,
Yeah, they have the quickest turnaround rate.
What's up next?
Okay, the last I'm going to let you have a taste of is our
that's a stout.
Black Rhino Stout.
Start.
That's the one we're most proud of. And that one has just won an award in the National Home Brewing Champs, the Kevin Award.
It tastes like you're drinking coffee with alcohol in it, but in a good way, like in a beer way. Nik was very impressed with it. Even pretended to know what was going on.
By the way, what's cool about craft beer now, and you can see with Rory, is that craft beer's got a bit of a stigma attached to it. It's been associated with hipsters. Thankfully, the hipsters have moved on from craft beer to like artisanal gin. And now that leaves the rest of us free to enjoy a delicious craft beer without having to grow ridiculous facial hair and try and squeeze ourselves into skinny jeans. As we say in Glen Hazel, l'chaim.
L'chaim. Cheers.
To life.
To life. Padkos today was inspired by boerewors. So we had beer, so I made a boerie roll for the guys. So I put some boerewors in a pan with some tomato and just a little bit of water, and then I fry the boerewors in its fat. I then open up a ciabatta loaf, spread on some pesto, and then I cut the boerewors in half, put a nice fat layer of boerewors on the pesto. Then on top of the boerewors, I put some caramelized onion, because a boerewors roll is never complete without caramelized onion. Some chimichurri. And to cap the whole thing off, I put some sun-dried tomato, cut it into 3 pieces, boom, Bob's your uncle. The best and easiest boerewors roll you've ever had. How's it, boys?
Hez, what have you prepared?
That looks great.
I've prepared for us some food.
It's enormous. Hezron has produced a monster Magaliesburg. It's like a mountain. Magaliesburg is such a picturesque area to enjoy our delicious padkos. I promised you folksies and worsies, and we enjoyed the worsies or the padkos. The Magaliesburg monster. Do you know something about the Magaliesburg mountains, Brian?
No.
They are 100 times older than Mount Everest.
Really?
They were formed 2 billion years ago.
Oh.
Or last Tuesday, if you're a young Earth creationist.
That's interesting. Or a flat earther.
I enjoy that padkos more than ever.
Next up, we go to Askari for a game drive. I'm looking forward to seeing the Renoster, the grootste en sterkste die in die bos.
Good padkos.
This is a very good padkos.
Thank you.
If I say so myself. Let's go to the game lodge. Your personal collection of cars.
My personal collection.
What have you got in there? What are your babies?
My baby's a 1913 Buick. And I have a 1928 Ford as well.
How do you find a 1913 Buick?
It's becoming a bit more difficult to find. You've got to look around, know people, go to the car clubs, talk to someone like me who can find you one to buy.
And you basically, you see cars and you then harass people until they sell them.
Basically, you drive around, you go somewhere, you get a lead, the guy, you know, you'll get a phone call, someone will say, I saw an old car on some property somewhere, and then you'll go and chase it.
Brian dropped us off here at the Scari Lodge and Spa. It's a fantastic place. It's beautiful. There's a lot of old wagons around. These wagons date back to, some of them to the Great Trek.
So we got here to the Scari Game Lodge and Spa, and Ian, our guide, is with Zembello Adventures, and they took us on a game drive. Ian, how long have you been a ranger?
About 20 years now.
Where did your passion for outdoors and nature and wildlife come from?
I think growing up in small towns, I spent a lot of time outdoors, out in the veld. I decided this is what I want to do. I want to be outdoors all the time.
So myself and Nik, I think we were both struck by how beautiful these animals are.
What's cool about this place is it's got the big five and there's no malaria. So it's like African Disneyland. Except the mice don't wear gloves and you probably shouldn't shake their hands.
We saw some buffalo with these massive horns. I mean, like massive, massive horns, like 1.5 meter horns. Don't know how much they weigh. They were just chilling out to these birds. And it's just so chilled out here in the bushveld. It's beautiful. So I see those buffalo there. What's up with those birds?
Those are cattle egrets. They are basically walking around the buffalo, waiting for the buffalo to chase up some insects. So they're using the buffalo as sort of to herd the insects out. And as the insects pop up, then they dive down and grab the insects.
So yeah, it was a fantastic experience for me. I must say it was emotional seeing the rhino.
I've seen a lot of rhino, but somehow our discussion about the poaching, it's quite disturbing. How bad is the poaching problem around here?
We've lost 10 rhinos in the last 3 years.
So you guys have dehorned us here?
Yeah. This is actually the second time that we've dehorned those rhinos because it grows back plus minus 10 centimeters each year.
Why would they be poaching them without horns?
You see the amount of stubble that's left there because you can't cut right against the bone because there's still some nerves in there and the skull also goes up in a shape like that. So you can't cut it very, very smooth and then you've got that bit growing around the outside. So that little bit can weigh up to about 3 kilograms. And at about $115,000 per kilogram is still talking a lot of money. So they'll go just for that little bit.
Have you heard of the black rhino stout?
No, I haven't.
Is it produced by milking the female black rhino and then selling it as a beer?
I'm sure not.
It's good for us city slickers to get out into the bush. I was hoping for a survival talk from Ian. We didn't quite have time for that, so guys, if you're watching out there and you want to go into the bush, a couple of tips for your survival in the bush. Firstly, don't go into it. And if you have to go into it, don't get lost. And if you do get lost, don't touch anything. And if you do have to touch something, don't eat it. But if you have to eat it, make sure you braai it. Okay? There's a reason the top survivalist in the world is called Bear Grylls, not Bear eat whatever you like raw. I'm sure you'll be fine. Bear Grylls. Speaking of grilling, it's time to go grill a bush pig. Brian Nik dropped us off here at Black Horse.
Being dropped off by Brian was a slight relief, because now I got my Nik Rabinowitz back.
Thanks, Brian.
Thanks, Bob.
You're a legend. Thanks for putting up with us.
Bernard, he's the owner of Black Horse, this fantastic establishment, beautifully put together this place, scenic views of the Magaliesburg mountains, beautiful lawns, beautiful rose bushes, a swimming pool.
And it's beautiful. We walked in here, we were greeted by the Braaiers, Wessel, Pistorius.
Hey, Bernard?
What a beautiful place.
And they instantly offered us a starter.
You can have a block and tackle here. Okay.
What is it made out of?
Block and tackle is made out of the sheep liver and the lace fat around the stomach of the sheep. And you cut it in and salt and pepper, but that's a block and tackle. It blocks the arteries and it tackles the heart.
You know, I'm on medication for that. I ate the little starter, the vegetable, which was called the block and tackle, which is basically a liver wrapped in lamb neck fat. It's like an instant coronary. That's why they call it block and tackle. Blocks your arteries and then tackles your heart, and then you die.
Well done, Vessi. That's
Good,
fantastic.
man. Good, good, good.
Did you call him Vessi?
Is Vessi fine?
Yeah, this is fine.
This
Only
is
size of his stomach. There's not much of a seed in.
Is this lace fat?
Lace fat.
Vessel had a apron on, which instantly then identified him as the main braaier.
This is a European bush pig, a feral pig, which we shot 2 days ago.
A European bush pig.
He told us that he shot the pig himself, skinned the pig, hung the pig, marinated the pig, injected the pig with the marinade, roasted the pig, and smacked the pig with the rosemary leaves for 4 hours straight. He's a very impressive gentleman. What is this marinade here? What is in
This
here?
marinade, this is actually with what I'm basting the pig. It's a basic sauce with lemon juice, oil, marinade, and obviously rosemary also.
Can I taste some of the...
Yeah, let me grab a piece of rib here for you. That's it.
Oh, thank you. That looks delicious.
Nick, don't look away, man.
Oh my word. That is amazing.
Je weet, ek is 'n boerejood, Wessel. Hulle noem vir my 'n boot.
'n boot? Okay.
Mag nie daai dinges.
Jy mag hom nie eet nie.
Nee, mag nie. Rabbi Green kyk vir die show. I didn't eat the pig. I consulted with Rabbi Green, Gerson, the chief rabbi Warren Goldstein, Rabbi Masinta, as well as 16 other rabbis. They all said, no, Nick, you cannot eat the bush pig. I didn't eat the bush pig, guys. I didn't. I'd like to see what I'm going to be eating tonight.
Yeah, we've got some greens
Take
for
me
you.
there.
Let's go.
Let's go.
I'm taking my rib with me.
Let's go.
The menu. This is probably our most ambitious menu.
Kombis and carpaccio is what
That's
we
it.
promised.
This is kudu carpaccio.
Kudu
Okay,
carpaccio.
That's it.
Het jy homself gejag?
No.
The carpaccio. I promised you at the beginning of this episode, kombis and carpaccio, and we delivered in spades. The carpaccio was fried to perfection. It didn't go on the braai. It was raw, but it was wonderful. Rau carpaccio, which is Italian for yes, like julle moes die ding gebraai het. The salad, guys, I'm a big fan of salad, but this dressing, the secret dressing, really was very enjoyable. I tasted about 19 different types of tomatoes. His demonstration, he actually identified all of them. It's very impressive. I didn't know you were such a fan of tomatoes.
This is the green zebra.
Oh, okay, you're actually quite good. Huh?
This is a cherry tomato. Yeah.
Yes, that's a different thing.
I think this is a Roma tomato.
Can be aroma.
Can be a Roma. Close?
It's a jam tomato.
Is this a
that
jam
one.
tomato?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's also...
I've never been to a tomato tasting.
We also then had baby potatoes, were baked in an oven, which had previously baked 2 loaves of bread.
Butter on the top to make it soft.
Hand-baked bread. When last have you had hand-baked bread? Oh, fantastic. Well done, guys.
Thank
you
you.
guys have done very well.
Thank you.
The style of the braai was very rustic. The animal was roasted low and slow. The internal temperature they were looking for was 70 degrees.
Lovely atmosphere here. Very gezellig, very Hamish, as we would say in Yiddish. Very Hamish. Gastvryheid. That's the word I'm thinking of. Hospitality.
Cocktails, yes. I made fast cocktails today. I decided that I would make a shooter and a mimosa. I added a snack, a slice of spun speck, a shot of Contral, half a glass of champagne, some orange juice, and then to cap it all off, a bit of grenadine and a piece of pineapple. What you want to do is you want to make sure that your liquids are ice cold before you make the shooter so that they actually sit on top of each other. So it's actually coffee liqueur, Baileys, and Contral. That's a very easy drink to make, and that was our cocktails today. Ladies, please, everyone get a shot.
I'd like to say cheers to the Black Horse because, you know, We've noticed that this town is basically just craft breweries and wedding venues. It's rare that you find a craft brewery inside a wedding venue, which, let's face it, is the real match made in heaven. Here's to that,
guys.
to the Black Horse. Cocktails. Hezron delivered. He delivered the Magaliesfontein, no, the Magaliesburg Mimosa. That's what it was called, the Magaliesburg Mimosa. The Hekpoort Bazooka, as I like to call it.
Nik, tell me how I've outdone myself.
Thank you, Hez. Thanks for this cocktail.
It's a pleasure, Nik, but now it's time to eat some
I was
pig.
going to say you've outdone yourself,
And then?
but I think you've done better.
James is actually such a great guy. He's the architect of the sides. He made two sauces. He made the mushroom sauce that had local chili in it, and then he also made a jus that was reduced with blackberries and red wine. That was really good. I think what has happened here is everything on this plate has come together to create what I would describe as
A king's meal.
bloody lekker kos. That is the best way to describe what has happened on this plate.
I think it was an excellent day. We came here and we enjoyed wonderful company, hospitality, delicious food. Some people even savored the pig.
That's a red wine and berry.
And I, in honor of my long line of Jewish ancestors, going back to Benjamin Rabinowitz, like all of those people, I did not eat the pork. And I feel sad about that. Because I would have liked to have tried the pork. But no.
Today was phenomenal, exciting and brilliant.
I played for the Bush Pigs hockey team in 1998. And the Bush Pigs are very close to my heart. And I'd like to end this episode with a Bush Pig war cry, which it would make my heart sing if you could all join me in singing the Bush Pig war cry. It's very simple. It goes, he said goodbye to his pig, and as he said goodbye to his pig, he said goodbye to his pig. You got it? Yeah. Okay, it starts like this. He said goodbye to his pig, and as he said goodbye to his pig, he said goodbye to his pig. Thank you, guys. Cheers.
Cheers.